Argo City podcast.
And we have returned.
So we're taking a break from movies tonight to do a little bit of something from our TV night. So we occasionally refer back to this, but tell everybody about like what our TV night is, what it's all about. What do we do for TV night?
Well, I mean, essentially, it's like we each have series that we go throughout. Well, for right now, it's Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, it's Mondays. Tuesdays is movie night. Mondays, essentially, we each have 3 shows that we go through and we watch an episode. And on Wednesdays, we wear pink. I was gonna say, you beat me to it. But yeah.
But yeah, so like we block out an hour and a half. So 3 sitcoms or 3 animes or one drama and a sitcom or something like that. It's actually been really good for catching me up on a lot of the stuff that you watch. But also, it's just a good excuse to say, we're watching My Hero Academia every Monday, and we'll get through it that way. And we have.
We did. We pushed through that series. We're on the final season right now.
You're not too far away from us doing another one of these just on My Hero.
Yes, but we pushed through that in a while. We pushed through Demon Slayer in a year or two, which was...
Yeah. And it's stuff that I've always wanted to see. And also you pointing out to me stuff that I need to see.
Yeah, that's why we watched the core with a season or 2 of AOT. We did My Hero. We did Demon Slayer. I really need to do another tester night because we're getting towards the end of my show.
But that's really the point. It's okay, so otherwise this would just go into the basket of, you know what? I need to watch that. I'll get to it eventually. And no, this is a great time to do it. So on my side, there's been a lot of Doctor Who. There's actually been a lot of classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Not the 2005 series, but before that, so that you get to know Peter Davison, and you get to know Sylvester McCoy, and you get to know John Pertwee. There's been some Star Trek, some Next Generation, and some Deep Space Nine.
We did do a lot of Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine is going to come up on our next season break, because we've got to do a little bit of that again.
Okay.
But right now, the big one in mine is Superman and Lois.
And, oh my goodness. Where do we even start with this?
Well, I'll tell you where to start with this here. So, I'm a Gen Xer, and that means that I got to see what is generally considered the best Superman in the theater. I got to see all 4 of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies in the theater as I was growing up.
Yeah.
Now, I am a Gen Xer, but I have a taste for boomer entertainment.
That you certainly do.
Mom will walk into the living room, and I'll be watching a Dean Martin roast, and she's like, what is this? What even is this? Why are you watching something this old?
Well, then if she's not, I'm surprised she still gets surprised, because she walks into us watching a lot of weird stuff.
That's the beauty of being as strange as some of us are, that we can still do that. I really absolutely love the George Reeves Superman, the old black and white one. We're going to throw some of those in, because I think we're going to do at some point, a couple weeks of black and white TV night on my side. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to be old stuff like that. But for most people, they'll consider the Christopher Reeve movies the pinnacle of Superman. Now, I'm a Superman fan.
Superman is, he's a figure that has always been very prominent in this household.
And look, I'm 50 years old. I'm just at the edge of Gen X, but I should be one of those guys that absolutely worships Christopher Reeve. But the thing is, the best Superman of my lifetime we got just a few years ago. It was these 4 seasons of Superman and Lois.
And like, Smallville.
Smallville is great, and Smallville was really good. I don't know if I would call it the best, because even with Smallville, for me, the George Reeves stuff was, the black and white stuff was still my favorite. But this supplanted it. So that's what I'm saying. This is no mean trick. It's something special to actually do this. And I would walk away because I watched this in real time. I watched them as they were coming out. And I would come away from each episode in a daze. And I would tell Mom just how amazing this was. And how I can't believe it's this good. And Mom does not care. And then I would tell you, and you would smile at me. And like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. You do you. Don't I sound just like her? Seriously. But it's like, you didn't get it.
No, not really. I'm honest
and I don't blame you.
If I'm honest with you, I can't remember talking about it anything before we started watching it. But
that's why it's like, no, you have to see this. Mm-hmm. You absolutely have to see this. So, it is a CW show. It's actually a spinoff of Supergirl. Do you remember the first time that we saw him on Supergirl?
Wasn't it like season 3 or something with
season
the floating
2.
Island?
It is season 2.
Oh.
And he's at the beginning of season 2. The first stills of him are terrible. He looks bad. It's bad photos of him. And they still had like the stupid clamps on the cape.
Ugh.
It was not a great costume. But even on Supergirl, it's like, do you know how to really get me on board with the Superman series with like a portrayal? Do you know what you have to do to make me really love it?
Sidecast?
That's number 2, and boy, are we going to get into that. Mm-hmm. But number 1, you have to make me like Clark Kent. Clark Kent is Superman. Superman, even though Superman doesn't wear like a mask, Superman is. Yeah.
Clark Kent is the mask.
Yeah, well, I mean, Clark Kent is Superman. That's who he is fundamentally. And if you get Clark right, you get Superman right. And even in Supergirl, they got Clark right. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit we'd see of him. I remember being completely on board from day 1 on Supergirl. I remember turning to you as we were watching it on Supergirl and like, dude, I just want a series with him. I liked Supergirl, especially in those early years.
Heck yeah, like 1 through 3 were great, and then they lost their way. But
I wanted it with him, and they kept bringing him back. Mm-hmm. Obviously, somebody was tweaking onto it, and there was a real grassroots campaign here. I mean, this was like genuine band stuff, where it's like bands like me are like, you have to do. He is so good. Have you seen what they're doing in the movies? This is so much better. Like, I was way more excited for Crisis on 2 Earths with Supergirl and the Flash. No, the first one, the one with Supergirl and just the Flash.
Oh.
I was more excited for that crossover than I was for Batman versus Superman.
Well, that's true, but that was just better.
And I was more excited, yes, for Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW than I was for Justice League. They got it right.
It almost seems like it says something for a show versus a movie. Like, in a show, you're able to really take your time. In a movie, you've got 1 to 2 hours to build up this character for people that know it and make sure the people that do know it are happy. But you have the time to really bring in an audience with a show.
I think I mean, in the movie, they've got to focus on him being Superman.
Yeah.
And on a TV show, they get to focus on him being Superman. And that comes back to what you said earlier about the side characters.
Yeah.
Because, and we've talked about this before, but the side characters the supporting cast is so important for Superman. Spider-Man's another one where it really is important, but Marvel seems to get that and DC doesn't. It's when Superman shows up on Supergirl, he's already got history with Cat Grant.
Oh.
He's already got history with Jimmy, and it just works. So building up that secondary cast, I think we're going to get into that a little bit here too. So let's talk about what Superman and Lois is.
Yeah.
This is... Most of the time, Superman is about him in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, single guy, maybe just married, and it's superhero adventure. Superman and Lois, he's married with kids, and the Daily Planet's just gotten taken over by a bad dude. I mean, Morgan Edge actually did take over the Daily Planet in the 70s.
Yeah.
But that was a different... Despite the name, it was really a different character. Clark gets fired. His mom dies.
They go to like Smallville for the funeral, and
they just stay.
And we find out about the mortgage loan.
Yeah, so his childhood girlfriend Lana is selling reverse mortgage loans, and it's predatory. But she doesn't realize how predatory it is. I mean, it's a depressed economy. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. There was a lot of economic turmoil during those years. So, yeah. But it's a good time for him to arrive because stuff's about to start happening. After all, Superman arrived in Smallville. His rocket was accompanied by a meteorite shower of kryptonite. That's been doing funky things to the town, and Edge is there poised to take advantage of it and maybe try and resurrect the Kryptonian race. I almost feel like all of that stuff is secondary.
Yeah, like especially with the family dynamics and such. And I was actually thinking about this as you were talking about Clark Kent versus Superman. Do you remember when I had my Marvel hyperfixation a couple years ago? I was watching through all the movies multiple times, and I mentioned to you specifically, and we did have a bit of a discussion on it about how much I love seeing the heroes out of costume. I love watching, like, Tony Stark doing all of his Billinger things. Yeah. I like watching the characters outside of superheroing. I wonder if that's why I latched on to this so much.
You know, it's funny. As we were watching, like, a quick recap that we pulled up, I noticed how little Superman is in it. And usually that annoys me because I'm here for Superman. Superman's different, though. With Superman, I genuinely am here for Clark. Because Clark Kent, this is the thing the movies never get. The powers are secondary. Yeah. They're just a fact of his existence. But even if he didn't have the powers, Clark would still be doing the same things. Mm-hmm. He would still be trying to help people in whatever way he could. He would still be... The thing about Superman, and I've said it before on the podcast, I've said it to you in private more times than I can imagine.
Yeah.
And to other people, too. The thing about Superman is he does the right thing just because, well, it's the right thing to do. There's no other motive. Superman is completely altruistic. When you try and deconstruct Superman, when you try and, shoehorn him into some sort of anti-hero, it doesn't work. That's not who Superman is. That's not who Clark is. I mentioned to you, like, I'm perfectly happy to just watch him. One of the strongest comic stories was not about Superman defeating Darkseid and these apocalyptic gods. It was Clark trying to help his neighbor who was in an abusive relationship with a boyfriend that was beating her up. It took a lot more courage for Clark Kent to get the law involved than for Superman to show up.
Yeah.
That's the core of Superman. And this show gets it.
Mm-hmm.
They get that it's all within him. They get it with that supporting cast though too.
Yeah, I adore watching these characters. I'm loving watching some of these side stories.
I'll tell you what, I came into this like, they're going to turn this into a teeny bopper drama, aren't they? Like, Superman's going to be the bumbling sitcom dad, and Lois is going to be the empathetic mom, always telling him what's right and what to do. Once you start seeing this pattern, by the way, in 80s and 90s sitcoms, you'll never be able to unsee it. And the very name, Superman and Lois, just, I'm like, we're in the age of girl boss and just, the entire reason we got Supergirl as a series instead of a Superman series is because you can't have that sort of a powerful male-led. It wasn't fashionable.
They had that with Flash, Arrow, with
Did they?
The other ones though. Because I would say Flash was more popular than Supergirl was even.
We can make some arguments on that, but that genuinely is the reason why that's what we got. But they did Supergirl right. They did Supergirl, like, that was the best. I would literally tell people at cons, this is everything I want from a Superman series, except it doesn't have him in it. But otherwise, it's so good.
It gave me, like, a leeway to get into that universe. Oh, man. Some of the group costumes we did as a trio were amazing. And
the dynamics that they're pulling from The Devil Wears Prada, it worked. Everything about it works. So there was a real resistance to doing Superman, though, which I pulled my hair out. Superman on television is a license to print money.
Yeah, I've been sitting here for, how long are we in? 15 minutes waiting for you to say that quote.
But I mean, it really is. I've never seen a Superman TV show fail. I just haven't. So I'm looking at how they're going to do it, and it's a CW, and it's this era, and I was so worried. Mm-hmm. And I spent 4 seasons waiting for them to drop the ball, and they never did. Not in any real way. So what I'm looking at here is, even with these kids, like I said, I looked at the boys and I'm like, oh, is this going to be a teenager thing? The kids had such potential to be annoying. I mean, we've got the jock brother and the Hemo brother, and none of these are archetypes that I have any interest in watching.
That's true.
But
it works.
That's all I can say.
I don't know how else to describe it other than the fact that the dynamic works.
This is where I credit the writers and the storytellers so much, because it feels like it just works effortlessly.
the family, it makes sense. Like I said, I only know, like, sister relationships, and even then, I don't really know how it goes with, like, brothers, but...
And I couldn't tell you.
I can see this, like, their fights, their making ups, they're, like, popping by, throwing each other, throwing, like, insults, and laughing, and it makes sense. It feels natural.
And the fact that it feels so natural, the fact that it feels so effortless, that's hard to write. I'm speaking right now with my writer's hat on, as somebody who's written books, as somebody who's written comics. This is not an easy thing. The fact that they do it and they get it so right. You know what? It's more than that, though. The boys, the teenagers, John and Jordan inform Clark and Lois's performances. They affect it. They help to define what Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch are doing. They would not be playing the same characters without those boys.
That's true. And while we're on the topic, can we talk about Lois for a second? Because, since we're talking about the dynamic anyways, I love watching her throughout this. Around the time we were getting into this, we had just gone to see the new Superman movie.
Yeah.
And we had been talking a little bit about how, I love this scene where she's pouring sugar into her coffee, and she's wonderful throughout this. She is everything I could have hoped and dreamed for her. She has flaws. She has her confidence. She is, like, chugging along. I adore her in this. She's wonderful.
You know what? And let me just build on that just a little bit here, because Tyler Hoechlin is not my favorite Superman. He's right up there close to the top. I mean, I'm still very much black and white George Reeves guy. But Elizabeth Tulloch, Bitsy is the single best Lois that I've ever seen.
Wow.
I mean, flat out. Now, I'm not just talking in my lifetime. I am talking in every filmed version of Superman, every screen version. Now, I love Noel Neill. She was a darling lady. She loved the role. I actually even kind of preferred Phyllis Coates before her. Both would show up for cameos and stuff like that. I'm actually not a fan of Margot Kidder. You're going to notice a theme here. The Christopher Reeve movies just don't do it for me. There's been others, but yeah, Bitsy gets it. And I almost wonder if it's because we're examining a different time of life. We're examining her as a mid-40s mother dealing with those type of challenges and some others that will come up.
Yeah.
And it gives her a chance to be vulnerable.
And it's like, man, there's so much that I love about her. I love, her motherly side. I love that in a portion of it, she's very much, the breadwinner for a bit of it. Like,
she is.
She's the one running the Gazelle, and we still get to kind of see both sides of it. Like, yeah, obviously that's going to
look
with everyday life, but
she never loses her strength or anything like that.
She's like I said, she's just chugging along, and if I was to say like motivational women, genuinely, I feel like she would be one of the most inspiring people, at least for young girls.
That's absolutely what Lois Lane is supposed to be. It really is. Yeah. We watched some of the old Max Fleischer cartoons, some of the ones from the 1940s.
Right, yes.
And one of the things we noticed, like, she's not necessarily just the damsel in distress trope.
No, she's actively going out of her way to get herself in trouble.
She's getting herself into those jams. She finds herself there, but it's
competing. She's not submitting. In fact, she's usually doing the opposite.
So, Bitsy Tulloch manages to balance those two aspects.
And how
she never
really
she's
does.
always feminine.
Yeah.
She's not trying to be a dude. She's not the cigarette chomping, gravelly throated Margot Kidder with the gigantic shoulder pads in the Superman movies. She's not the overly feminine and absolutely beautiful Terry Hatcher in Lois and Clark. She's doing something different. She's got that drive. She's got that strength. But she also knows that bullet is going to pulp through me if I don't call my husband. And there are times I need my husband to show up. You know what else she doesn't do? She doesn't make Clark look like a buffoon. She doesn't make him look like a jerk. She doesn't make him look like he's inferior. There's respect and equality there. Mm-hmm. And this is where I keep coming back to like the old 80s, 90s sitcom trope. Every dad, almost every like respected classic sitcom dad, it just felt like they were getting dumped on by the more emotionally aware wife. It's one of the reasons why there's certain things like I love Deep Space Nine. We have a strong father.
Yeah.
I love The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because we have, again, a strong father who does some dumb things. And it's funny, but there's still something there. This is another one of those where we've got a strong father who is active in his kid's life, active in his wife's life. There is respect both the ways. Sometimes he's wrong. And sometimes he's not wrong.
I was going to say, like, speaking of, like, respect going both ways, you can really feel that partnership. I can't talk about that.
This is squad goals. This is what we want to aspire to, which is fascinating because I've always talked about Superman as an aspirational figure. Yeah. He makes us want to do better. He makes us want to be better. He makes me want to be better in my marriage. Wow. That's exactly what Superman's supposed to do. And I would not have pegged that.
And even, like, thinking of that, like, of the partnership going both ways. As I said before, the dynamics in this feel natural. It just does. But especially between the two of them. Like, with the two of them parenting the two kiddos. Or even the occasional times where Lois, especially here, I almost feel like brings Clark back down to earth. Especially in season 1. He is constantly fighting these battles with these people. And it's like, you're still human. I need you to come back to me. Come back to the ground.
Yeah.
And that's like...
literally possessed by another personality.
And every time,
she brings him out of it.
Every time, she's the one that brings him out. The kids can't break him out of it. She's the one who has to come to him.
And I believe this is a beautiful example of what a wife needs to be for her husband. Mm-hmm. She grounds him. She is the thing that he is not. She completes him. This is one of the reasons, like, even like back in the day when we were talking about heading over to Steel City so that I'd be like the worship pastor over there.
Yeah.
And I got to go to Mom first though.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it without her support, without her grounding me. And that's everything that Lois is doing there.
Yeah.
It's just, this is so much better than it has any right to be. And that's what we keep coming back to. It's so much better than you'd expect.
Okay, and then I did want to talk about that very briefly. You said you're coming from, like, the Gen X view. I'm coming from the Gen Z view, who grew up with my own version of the superhero stuff, with mainly Supergirl and a tiny bit of Flash when I would occasionally watch it with you. walking into this, I was amazed at how much I enjoyed it. I am not a Superman fanatic. I am not really not as much as I used to be. I'm not in that realm as much as I used to be. But watching this and watching each episode, I wanted to keep going. I was getting constantly thrown around the loops for these plot twists for these characters, and every week I kept waiting for more. And every week I would scream at you for leaving me on a cliffhanger. And I'm just like, it genuinely amazed me how much, for some reason, how much I enjoyed this.
But that's everything that I saw in it. And that's why I was so excited. And I wanted to talk to Mom about it. I wanted to talk to you about it.
It's so good.
And it's the perfect platform because even if it's not like in your main thing these days, Superman is still fundamental. It's still foundational in this family.
Yeah, it's still.
Even if we're not like reading the comics every day or watching the show every week. It's just, okay, that's the foundation we're built on. We see that S, and, well, that, it belongs to us. Mm-hmm. And so, to do it through that.
Scaly. But, yes, no.
Now, I don't want to let us go quite until we talk about our one other wild card in here. We've got a strange visitor from another dimension.
Yes, I'm so happy.
And man, they stretched this out. So, strange, armored guy, little hostile towards Superman. And then...
little murderous. Tiny bit of murderous intent.
And his computer is referring to him as Captain Luthor. And he's the wrong shade of melanin. But
we're both like, I remember watching that and I was like, oh, so they race swapped him. I'm like, I'm not immediately against it, but I'm like,
But it turns out this was a massive fake out, and I gotta say, what they ended up doing
was so much better. Oh my gosh.
So this is John Henry Irons. It is Steel.
He is wonderful. Oh, he's wonderful.
Give me just a moment to indulge me for a moment while I take you back to the 90s.
Oh, goodness. The 90s. If anybody knows that meme on like TikTok.
Because Steel was created in the wake of the death of Superman, that whole event in 92. And John Henry was just, he's just a dude. I mean, he's an engineer, but he's just a dude living in suicide slum with a lot of the other low-income, low-rent people from Metropolis. It's a community. But Superman saved him once, and he's got to repay that favor somehow. And it inspires him to create this suit of armor, and those early days are actually a really good supporting cast. Now, you've also got to remember, see, in the 90s, it's not the same as when you were growing up, where, like, Iron Man is a thing.
Yeah.
Iron Man is, in the 90s, Iron Man is a B-lister at best. Oh. Like, name recognition, okay, like every mom and grandma recognizes that suit, probably. Although they might not know the name, and he's a legacy character, you got to keep him, but nobody's buying these comic books.
Oh.
So this is actually a good time for DC to make a bid for, hey, you know what? We're doing our own Iron Man. And he's this cool black dude, and we're going to make him part of Superman family. Now, I don't know if it ever quite worked as far as that pitch, but I liked it. I loved reading this stuff. John Bogdanove was drawing it. You've met him. He loved your Supergirl costume. So I got some comics signed, and he just couldn't stop talking about the fact that, okay, it's a Supergirl costume, and you've got Crypto with you, and I love all of this. John loves Superman.
That's fun.
So the fact that he's creating this kind of sidekick, and he's going to put that kind of care into it. Of course, as time goes on, you kind of don't necessarily know what to do with the character. But, I mean, it was a good series. It was a good origin.
Yeah.
This might be better. I think it actually is a better treatment of the character. And I'm a purist. I am a comic book guy. There are 12,000 comic books in that library back there.
Yeah, thinking of that number, I'm not even surprised. But no, yes, very, very, very excited when he pops in. And I'm gonna preface this by saying I am biased when it comes to inventor characters.
Yeah.
I love that trope. I love that in characters. Something about that just speaks to me.
And they know it because they are giving you a tech girl in all the flashbacks.
They are. I have my classic teenage little tech girl, and she's wonderful. And I only get to see brief.
She's fun. She's good in all of this.
She's great.
I mean, we're only getting flashbacks at this point to his world where an evil Superman.
They're sitting in the bunker and inventing, and I'm just watching this, and I'm like, ah!
And dude, the evil Superman trope has been done to death, but you know what? It gets a pass here. Like the black Superman costume, that is the Easter egg that every fanboy wants to unlock for every movie or TV show or whatever. And I'm not with it, but it works here. Yeah. And he's going to prevent it from happening on this new Earth, except our Superman hasn't turned evil. And it turns out that our Superman married John Henry's wife.
Lois.
Lois is his wife in the other dimension.
Oh goodness, what's her name?
Nat.
Nat.
Her daughter.
We learn Henry's daughter, Nat. Well, Lois had her on the other Earth. On our Earth, Nat was a rainbow baby.
Nat was a miscarriage.
She was a rainbow baby, and we lost her. And oh man, when they sat down and revealed that, I was sitting there almost in tears. There's actually a Bluey episode. Surprisingly, a Bluey episode.
You know what? Not surprisingly, because we've talked about how impressed I am with Bluey.
Yeah, and where I don't know these characters' names. I really should because it's so popular in my generation, but. Where the mom, she did have a miscarriage at some point, and it gets brought up, and they do a whole episode on the loss and the names and such, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen that episode fully, but it's just like, oh man, that stabs me.
This level of dynamic, this level of drama, it's just, again, we're not really talking about how the series ratchets the dire circumstances up a little bit more every week. We were halfway through and you're like, oh, I'm glad that's over. Are we almost done? We're only halfway through and it just gets more apocalyptic.
It does.
Every single week. And
when we watched through My Hero, you kept telling me how it kept getting worse as they had to keep raising the stakes. It doesn't feel like that here because it's different kinds of stakes.
It is, but here's the thing. So, Season 1 ends with a rocket landing on Earth. And we've been through this before. We've been through this with Supergirl. You're like, please let it be Crypto. Please let it be Crypto. Please let it be Crypto and not Mon-El. But no, actually, who steps out of it? It's Nat. Yeah. She's escaped that ravaged Earth. And the first thing she sees
is Lois. She literally,
she
Mom?
sprints. And John Henry has to catch her. And everything that we went through, especially in the back half of this season, with the entire town getting possessed by Kryptonians, with Morgan Edge, who's really Superman's half-brother. I told you it's not the comics version. We'll just pretend it's somebody else. Trying to destroy the Earth with solar flare. I mean, all of that world-ending stuff.
It pales in comparison to this moment.
It's not the gut punch
No.
that Nat seeing this version of her mother who does not recognize her.
It's so heartbreaking. This series will make me laugh. It will make me cry. Half the time when we're done for the week, I'll just be sitting there for like 30 seconds, blank-faced, like, I
want to spend time with these people. I want to hang out with these people. This is what's always been about Clark Kent. I want to be friends with Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I don't care about Superman as much as I just want to be friends with Clark Kent. And this series does all of that. It's what makes this the best Superman series of my lifetime. And so we're just going to do season 1 today. We're only a few episodes into season 2.
Yeah.
And
I know my favorite character.
We'll start thinking about our favorites. And you know what? We're going to do this again. We're going to give you a recap of season 2 because it's just worth talking about.
Yeah.
I bet you, though, you and I are going to be sitting down for My Hero way before we do season 2 because My Hero is just about there.
We've got like 5 episodes and then we're done.
We're going to be done with My Hero at the same time we're done with Robotech, I think.
I'm so scared.
And
I gotta figure out what the heck I'm gonna... I gotta do a tester night. I'm like running out of shows.
In the meantime, head up to HBO Max. That's where Superman and Lois is sitting right now. Or just go buy the DVD. I saw the whole thing at Walmart for like $50. Go get yourself some physical media. Do yourself a favor, even if you're not a Superman fan, because this is going to make you a Superman fan. And we will see you next week.
Bye.